everyone, welcome back to Keeping Up with Contenders China. If you didn't catch last week's episode, this video is designed to catch you up with all the biggest points coming out of week 2 of Contenders China, and ensure you're up to date with who's winning, who's losing, and who's causing the biggest upsets. Let's go! Team CC versus Zenith of Optimism. Of the two teams, Team CC looked like a stronger, more coordinated team. With 4 DPS players on their lineup, there would be room for flexibility. This week, it was confirmed that resident Australian I Eat You Up was in fact in China with the team, so ping issues would not be getting in the way, meaning a brutal Zarya or Widowmaker was sat waiting to be unleashed. Zoo looked out of their depth last week against LGE, but this is a team that know what they like, traditional dive compositions. If they stuck to what they know and play for comfort, it was possible they could find some success. It did not take long for Team CC to speed ahead of Zoo through the power of building Earth Shatters. That said, it was clear that the tank play from both sides lacked coordination. Every move was one of intuition, and combos like stun shatters were practically non-existent. In the end, Zoo were just always one step behind, not taking reset opportunities, wasting ultimates, or not effectively countering. It was the second week of success for Team CC. Lucky Future versus Alter Ego. This was a matchup of two main tanks who received a lot of attention last week, SoWhat versus King Kong. So far, King Kong on the side of Alter Ego had showed more promise than SoWhat, although there was a bit more mystery around his skills as a Rhine or Wrecking Ball. Lucky Future though have Blackbean, an amazing DPS player who popped off against Flag Gaming last week. But historically, Lucky Future have made random DPS swaps throughout their series. Perhaps Blackbean would get swapped out, and even if he didn't, who knew if he was enough to rely on. It turned out that Lucky Future had another trick up their sleeve, new DPS player Ruff, who played well and kept the weight off of Blackbean's shoulders. The only thing rough on the side of Alter Ego was the time they were having. They were being read very easily by Lucky Future, and Jan 17 was having a hard time getting much value on Zenyatta. By the end of the series, it was very apparent that the doubts of Blackbean carrying Lucky Future were ridiculous. Thanks to him, they dashed straight into a series win. Fenley on the side of Alter Ego gave him a run for his money on the Widowmaker, but it was unfortunately brought out too late. There was nothing he could do to stop Lucky Future's win. Big Time Regal Gaming versus Restart. PRTG are known for their flexibility and creativity. Last week we saw no fewer than 17 compositions come from them, and this week it was entirely possible they could end up using this to overwhelm their opponents. Restart struggled last week. The pressure was on for this team of Overwatch veterans to pull through, and so far they hadn't yet proved themselves. But with an improvement in team coordination, it was possible we could be seeing improvements from them. This could be the beginning of a redemption story for B612, who hasn't yet had a professional win in over a year. PRTG kicked off the series flexing their coordination skills and bringing out some of the newly popularizing compositions which involve no diva, letting Liga spread his wings onto Zarya. Restart didn't look like they were combining their ultimates as best they could, but if there were anyone to complain about, B612 was not it. This Zenyatta was fragging out. Things got heated up when Restart took Horizon Lunar Colony in no time at all, but PRTG showed that they could adapt much faster, as they managed to hold a strong defense on the second round of the map. In spite of their loss, Restart showed a vast improvement from last week. The next step up for them would be to learn to adapt faster than their opponents. Lyngen Esports versus Laboratory. Laboratory, a new team getting even newer, as this week they brought in new flex support Meow in line with the departure of Kaguya. However, rigidity could be their weakness, as this is a team with strong hero preferences, namely Sombra, Genji, and Wrecking Ball. But LGE have their own risk of rigidity too. However, they were coming in with Cammy's strong Pharah, and against a team who don't play much diva, he was going to be one to watch. With LFZ out of the competition, playoff contention has become a very real prospect for LGE, and they would need this win for the confidence points to take them there. Despite the fears of Laboratory's stringent hero preferences, the team showed a surprising amount of versatility. Skyshow, a dedicated Genji player, came out on Genji, Sombra, and Tracer all on the first map. LGE stuck with more standard compositions, but showed nonetheless that they could still beat out some of the more unorthodox ones that Laboratory would bring out. Ultimately, LGE just proved they were the stronger team because their foundations were stronger. At times, Laboratory found themselves playing a much more brawly, solo queue type playstyle instead of coordinating. T1W vs 666 Legend. Right from the start of this season, T1W have looked like a contender for the top spot. The only player they lost coming into this season was Crystal, who went on to the Overwatch League, so the team are left with decent synergy, as well as strong Sombra and Doomfist players in Milanran and Midgia feeding right into the current meta. TSL started Season 3 by going against Shanghai Dragons Academy team, Team CC, so this is their second heavyweight match in a row. However, they've been doing well in the Land Story Cup since their loss to Team CC, so it's possible this series could sway their way. TSL did give T1W a fight. They took it into the third control map, showing strength in their 3-2-1 composition. However, their attack Orisa strategy on Hollywood was less than impactful. Mulanran ended up being a massive standout player for T1W, showing up on Junkrat and working well with Silver. The team brought out some interesting compositions, including a quad DPS defense, but still took TSL to their limit. LGD Gaming vs Flag Gaming. Both of these teams won their Week 1 series, however LGD carry a lot more of a positive reputation, even having just lost support player Onlywish this week to the Guangzhou Charge. And with Gushui's replacement Tonchio showing potential, things look good for LGD. Flag Gaming have Over, as well as ex-Shanghai Dragons player MG. DPS Jason was flagged as having a strong and wide hero pool, and a fantastic direct hit accuracy on Pharah that could bring LGD's tank-heavy comps to their knees. LGD showed a lot more compositional swaps than Flag Gaming, although in some cases Jason's Pharah was left uncontested. It ended up being the first 5-map series of the season. Flag Gaming showed they weren't strong on tanks, which is a big weakness that could be easily exploited. However, they still managed to take it from LGD, whose DPS show chain just wasn't up to the mark. And that's all the spice from Week 2 of Contenders China. Don't forget you can catch the broadcast this week on twitch.tv/broadcastgg to see it all live. And of course it'll all be wrapped up in a neat little bow on this channel for keeping up with Contenders China Week 3. I'll see you all next week.